What is up, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Space Engineer Survival. This is episode number 30, and you can see what we did last episode off in the distance there, bustling with life as we see the Pam Sham Wolf, I think, go over. No, that's the David Charlie 06 going over to mine some silver, I believe, and the Emil Skov there just coming back from another platinum run. We did all that last episode, but we weren't able to accomplish the actual transport ship that's going to bring materials from this spam base over here to the Pam base all the way over there. So in this episode, that's going to be our primary objective, to get some sort of transport ship that lands here and brings things to the Pam base. We would also like to upgrade the Re-Caffinator over here. All these subgrids have got to go. They are fun, they're nice, but unfortunately they make the ship a little harder to control. So we're going to remove the subgrids, keep the same sort of arm looking things that the Decaffinator had and that the Re-Caffinator will also have. But yeah, we're just going to remove the subgrids. So those are the two things we're going to try to do in this episode. If we have time, we'll do a little bit more, but we're going to start with, I think, maybe let's start with that transport ship, see if we can get that built up. So for the transport ship, I think we're actually going to make something from scratch. Modeling the Maniac, which is here actually. We're going to model this. It's going to be a very similar ship, except maybe it's going to have a little bit more storage, because that's, I think, one problem with the Maniac. It's only got two. No, it's actually got three, doesn't it? No, I think it only does have two cargo containers. So we're going to want to make something a little bit larger, but maybe sort of resembling the Maniac transport ship here. That's got the same sort of system where it goes back and forth between the bases. So let's go ahead and start on that. We're going to give ourselves some space over here. And heck, maybe we'll use this area. We haven't used this area in ages. So why not? Let's start a landing gear right here, if we can. Plop it right there, perfect. And we'll build up from there. I've got yellow because off camera I did a little bit of paint work, actually. I want to show you guys this before we start. I did a little bit of paint work on the printer over here that we did last episode, just to make it look a little nicer. Now, don't mind the lines right here in the middle. They're a little bit weird. There wasn't much I could do about this. I was trying to get them to line up, but this block right here is particularly stubborn, and so are these half blocks here, but it looks pretty nice, right? I think that's pretty good. But yeah, let's get back to our transport ship that we're going to be building in this episode and see if we can get that built up. That's going to be really cool. So just like the Maniac, we're going to have a connector on the bottom, just like that. And we have the model right there. Actually, why are you sitting here, by the way? You should be bringing materials back and forth, shouldn't you? Well, now that we're looking at the Maniac, I actually did want to change something that we did last episode. So last episode, we were trying to fix a problem where it was landing at the base and just staying here. And what we figured out was that the minimum, we had a minimum base timer, which would essentially turn on the event controller after like 3 seconds, so that the ship is forced to stay here for at least 3 seconds or whatever. Or I guess it was 10 seconds. So, but the problem was that once, basically, it would empty all of its materials, then the minimum base timer would fire, it would turn on the event controller, and by the time it turns on the event controller, all the materials would be out of the ship, which means the event controller had nothing to trigger it, which we fixed by just turning on the event controller from the get-go so that it notices when all the materials are out, but it subverts the minimum base timer. The problem with that is that the minimum base timer is good for when the ship needs to charge batteries. It's also good for when the ship needs to grab to deposit oxygen to the base, stuff like that. So we want to use this minimum base timer somehow. And currently what it's doing is it's toggling on the event controller, but I think what we're also going to do is we're going to toggle on the... I don't really have this ship configured to use this, do I? I'm trying to find a way to basically, when the minimum timer goes off, it's also going to turn on the connection. So it'll turn on the sorters that would send materials through the ship. So we wouldn't have to worry about things already being gone by the time we turn on the event controller. They would like activate at the same time. But I can't figure out how to do that because the sorter that's actually pulling things is part of the base. So, I mean, I could turn on and off the connector, or I could wait to connect. Well, that wouldn't work. I guess what I could do is I could grab the minimum base time right here, and instead of triggering the event controller, I could just not use the event controller at all. I could just use the base takeoff. So then if I make my minimum timer something like 30 seconds, let's say, so it's forced to stay at this base for 30 seconds, and then it's going to take off regardless of if it's got materials or not, then that wouldn't be the worst thing. The only problem that it's going to run into is if it's got lots of materials on board that it can't deposit, it's going to keep, taking off, and then it's going to go there and it's going to come back because it's got a full cargo inventory. But I don't really know how to solve that problem right now without adding a sorter to here that I can turn on and off. which I don't really want to do. So you know what? I'm going to tell it to go, and we're going to see if when it comes back, it actually does that properly. So while it's gone, we're going to work on our new transport ship over here, which is going to be similar, but not the same. And in fact, I'll use that idea as something I can add to this one here. I like that positioning, so I'm just going to weld it up as we go so that we can see it and stuff like that. So what I want to do is I want to grab a sorter, and it looks like on small grid they have a lovely sorter right here that we can use. So I'll toss a sorter right there with some interior plates. Kabam. That sorter is going to be what allows us to turn on and off the connection, so that's going to help us out a little bit. Next, we're going to grab some cargo containers. I'm thinking for this ship we do something very similar, except we stick to mediums as well. So let's just go out a little bit on this side and on this side. And in fact, maybe I want to go one lower. I'm not going to need a crazy amount of power, but I could throw 2 big batteries in right here if I wanted to. That wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay. So with that, we've already got a decent base for stuff. Now this right here is just going to connect to these. So our energy's a little bit low. So I'm going to go and lie in a bed for a second and recharge my energy so we can continue working. And you know what? Just so we don't lose all of our energy, I'm going to go ahead and close these doors here so we can pressurize this room. And that should help us out a little bit. Because the room is pressurizable, we just have not really ever used it in this series, you know, for a long time. So anyway, we're going to have it like that, and then we're going to have in between these, let me put normal blocks around the back here for a second, just to brace them together so that when I do what I'm about to do, it doesn't disconnect them. So like that, perfect. So now what I can do is, I'm going to grab a conveyor junction. I'm going to look for the conveyor converter. Is that what I'm looking for? No, I guess I'd be looking for a conveyor frame. That's the one that would kind of bridge that gap between these two. Okay, yeah, I'll throw a conveyor frame in between these, and I'll throw a conveyor frame in between this one as well, once I get this. And then on top of this one right here, I will throw the conveyor converter, I think. So that's going to convert that into a bunch of small connections, and I wish I could have small connections on this too, but it's okay. I'll just come around there, and then there, and then there and there. So yeah, let's get everything welded up, because I think I'm fine with how we have everything so far. So we'll start with maybe some of these batteries, grab those, and weld them up. It's interior plates, there's our power cells, and there's more interior plates right there. And that should be, let's grab that as well. Should be all of our little components there. Oh, maybe we should get the conveyor frames too, before I forget those. But yeah, there we go. Look at that, a nice flat ship. Everything is nicely in line. I like that. Okay, so to connect that all together, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring a block here and then out to the sides. So we'll use our small ones. I think we'll use the nice, these ones here. So throw a T-junction up right there. I guess I'll use another T-junction there for redundancy's sake. There as well. Of block right there. T-junction right there. Straight one out on either side. I can get them rotated the right way. And then a curved one pointing down like so. All right, there we go. That should be the connections done. So let's go ahead and weld these up, because I'm fine with these as well. I'll just do a 1 and then do a control middle mouse button to grab all the stuff that I need. All right, so I think on this level is where I'm gonna wanna have my, my timers and stuff. We don't have any oxygen. What's going on? Oh, you're still on depressurized, that's why. Here, let's let you put in some air. I don't know how much air we have on the base, but if this gets us to enough oxygen, we will save on a lot of power that we use. I'm gonna lie in the bed here for a second as well to gain the rest of the power that we lost back. All right, okay, so for this ship, what are we gonna want in here? So we're definitely gonna want the similar stuff that the other ship has. So let's give it, the Drift Maniac has a timer for the, actually, I'm gonna set this up nicely. So it's got a timer for the takeoff, it's got a timer for the landing, it's got a timer for the takeoff and landing at the other base as well. Then it's got a recorder for each of those as well. Left, right, yep, perfect. Okay, so recorder for each of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, awesome. Okay, it also has a timer for the in-between. So there's a timer for the transition between base 1 and base 2, and a timer for the transition between base 2 and base 3. Then it's also got event controllers. It's got an event controller for the base landing, and it's got an event controller for the outpost landing as well. Okay, Is there anything else? What else does the Gyrosomaniac also has that minimum thing, which I guess we'll add over here. I'll add a minimum timer right there, and I'll add a minimum... Actually, I'm going to place this a little differently then if I'm doing that. I don't know why. This is all probably going to get covered by other stuff, but I'm placing this nicely so it's easy to see. So we'll add a minimum timer right there for the base. We'll add a minimum timer for the other base, and then our event controllers as well. Okay, and since this is connected to the base, we can actually see all the timers that it's got. So it does have a base land and a base takeoff timer, an outpost land and outpost takeoff timer, the minimum timer, and then it's also got the in-between timers. And let's look at the event controllers as well, because I think it's only the 2. Yeah, it is. And I can look at the recorders. It looks like they have 4 recorders, 1 for each, which we have. And then it's got, I believe it's got another AI flight. Yeah, it's got the AI flight move that we need to stick somewhere. Okay, so I think we pretty much have everything we need here already. The only thing I still need to add would be that AI flight move, which I'll add to one of these sides, I think. I'll just throw it on this side right here. And on this side, I'll throw the signal stuff, which is going to be our action relay. It's going to be our programmable block. And it's going to be our antenna as well. Or you know what? Maybe I'll throw the antenna on this block over here. And then over here, instead of having the antenna right there, I'll throw a remote control there. Because it would be nice being able to remote control this if we need to. So there we go. And that right there is a fully saturated middle section of a lot of logic blocks. So let's go ahead and weld up all this stuff. I'm going to grab one. I'm going to go ahead and control middle mouse button. And let's start welding. Maybe the timers. Okay, let's see about this. There's our recorder, our event controller, our antenna, AI flight move, AI recorder, event controller, action relay almost. Okay, we only need this, and let me make sure build planner's clear. We need this right there and that right there, and that should, oh, maybe that as well. And that should be everything for our logic blocks. And there we go. All right. I like the look of this. I think this looks cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and color code these, I think, because that's gonna help me out when I'm planning them out. So blue is gonna be base land, boom, 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 and then I think lighter blue is gonna be base takeoff. Orange is gonna be outpost land, and lighter orange is gonna be outpost takeoff. It's gonna be right there. And then purple right there is going to be the in-between stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you didn't see how we set up the Gyrosomaniac, it's very similar to how we did that. We have everything right there for the takeoff. We've got a recorder to define the path that we want to take off on for each of these. So when we do a takeoff recorder, we're just going to define the takeoff path that it's going to take. So we'll essentially call that recorder and it'll fly that path. Same with all of these. So orange is outpost takeoff, blue is base takeoff, and then the lighter color is the landing. Oh, actually, no, reverse those. The darker color is the landing, the lighter color is the takeoff. And then this pinkish color is just the in-between, because you need a timer to transfer from one recorder to the other. So, yeah, with that, I think we should be good. Maybe I'll go ahead and color these all gray, because there are signal stuff. So that's signal right there, that's signal, and that is also signal. Okay, I think I'm gonna like a little bit of a protection on the front of this, just in case. I think that would be nice, so we'll have a little bit of armor like this. This is going to be very reminiscent of the Gyrosomaniac because it's got something very similar on the front. And then maybe I'll kind of curve it inward like that, just as we go to the sides there. All right, looking nice. And then on this front thing, I could maybe do something like this, where I pop out, kind of like I did for the Gyrosomaniac with the headlights. And maybe I'll do that right there on the back. Add some nice headlights to the front of that right there. Also grab some bulletproof glass to finish those up. There we go. Looking nice. All right, it's now got some eyes, which I think looks kind of cool. We're gonna need to start thinking about thrusters as well. So for thrusters, I think maybe what we'll do is I definitely want to use the small thrusters for this guy. Although I could probably, if I wanted to, get away with using stuff like this, but I'm thinking, let's go number 8 here. We've got all these little ones right here that we could potentially use. So I could do something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then same thing on the back I could do. I could very easily mirror this. And then if I need more thrust, I can put, you know, I can add On the sides, maybe need steel plates. I was thinking the Pam Emil Scov back there doing its mining job. It's getting a lot of stuff, isn't it? I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And then same on this side, I'll do 1. I'll skip 1. And then same here, skip 1. So there we go. Those are going to be our side thrusters and our front thrusters. So 4 on every side that we want. And I'm thinking we're going to go out with a full block on the sides we don't use. Maybe not on that side because we have something there we want to configure. So I'm going for this kind of side design where it's kind of covered on the side here a little bit. It's got a little bit of armor on the sides. I'm not doing this one block because so we can access it if we need to. Although maybe it looks a little bit weird, but I don't know. Let's get all these guys right here welded up. I'll get the bottom welded up once I am able to fly a little bit so that I can get out of this area right here. And I also need to find a place to put a gyro, by the way. I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll find a spot for it. All right, this should be the last of the thrusters that we need here. And there we go. Okay, so that's all of our left, right, forward, and backward thrusters done. We now need to basically do what we did outside. So I want to open this again. Let me depressurize first so I don't waste any oxygen. Depressurize on. Give it a second to do its thing. It's a big room, to be fair, and we only have one of these guys. So we'll let it depressurize here before we open the door. All right, there we go. Should be fully depressurized now. Let's go ahead and open this door right here. I want to check out what the Maniac has. The David Charlie's going on a mission. I don't know why we have this timer. I think has a delay, but I forget why we added the delay. Maybe to make it look cool and stuff, or maybe I was gonna add like an alarm or something. I don't remember exactly why. But okay. So the Maniac, the way I did this was I came up how many blocks? I only came up 1 block for these side things. But I kind of came up a little higher for the design right here. So maybe I'll do that same thing. And I'll do this as well where the gyroscope's on the top. And then maybe I'll add tires as well because that looks cool. Okay, so for these wings, I'm going to go out a couple blocks. How many blocks did I go out for the Maniac? I don't know why I'm copying it, but I went out just 1 block from the side for the Maniac. But I'll go out a couple more, maybe 2 for this one. So, well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just go out 1 like that. And that should be fine. All right, something like that. Does that look dumb? No, I think that'd be probably pretty fine. I was carrying double the weight. So would I rather have 2 of those? I could do something like this instead, where I've got 2 of these on each side. I think actually, you know what? I do like that. Let's do that instead, because that looks cool. So we'll run 2 of these on either side. All right, and since I'm doing it like that, then what I could also do is I could do something cool over here. Maybe right here, add like a little edge connecting that, and then over here, bring it like this. I need more steel plates. Always need more steel plates, right? I'll grab 155. I shouldn't need more after that. Okay, something like that I think would look kind of cool. And on this, it'll be kind of cool because I can add lights if I wanted to. I could add like a light down there that I think would look neat. So instead of you right there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a one going up like that, kind of bridging that connection there. Something like that I think would look cool. We've still got that inside there. I have no idea if that's going to destroy that block. I think it does go maybe 1 block of damage, but I guess we'll find out, right? But I think that looks cool to kind of connect that right there. So we'll do the same on this side. And actually, you know what? If I'm doing it like this, I think instead of having this block right here supporting, I'd rather accentuate these side supports by going back in right here. Just so it kind of looks a little bit more like those are what's supporting this. Okay, this is looking good. I'm liking where we're going here. Let's, do I want to get these welded? I think probably. We'll right click all these. I have critical energy, but it's fine. We will survive. All right, last thing right here. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and head into the bed as well real quick so we can grab our energy back. I think the bed's just about as fast as the survival kit, isn't it? I'm gonna put all these armor blocks on the side here. I think I might move my gyros to be kind of closer to the outside here and there. So we'll toss our gyros there. So they're not in the center line. They're kind of protected by this armor. All right, it looks very blocky right now, but we're gonna do the same thing we did with the other ship, which is basically this right here. It's gonna come out maybe from there. And it's gonna come over like this, and then over, down, like that. And then to kind of make that look a little bit nicer, we're gonna bring this over like this and keep it at that level. So let's weld these up and see what it looks like from one side. Yeah, that definitely makes the ship look a little bit less blocky. Although I guess this looks a little bit weird having it like that. So maybe instead of doing it like that, I want to bring this out like with a more, here, let's try something a little different here. What if I did that? Does that look a little nicer? Yeah, I think that does look a little nicer because it's got the same sort of angle as the top does there. And maybe, well, it's still got the potential that this gets burned by that. But I think it looks a little nicer. So let's copy that. Copy that. There we go. Much nicer, I think. I think having this there helps give off the vibe that this is kind of like a wing bit. Because ideally this might be one higher and one farther, but I don't really want to do that. I think I like it where it is. Okay, we're almost there. I've got a nice little motion controller on the front. We've got our lights all set up. I've got red lights on the left side of the ship and green lights on the right side of the ship. Everything is looking good. The only thing I need to do is disconnect it, bring it out, and then work on that bottom right there. I think we should have enough thrust everywhere. The only thrust we might be missing would be the upward thrust, but I don't know that that will necessarily be important. Maybe what I'll do is I'll stick an upward thruster right there and right there. I mean, at the very least, it'll be good to have just in case we need to go down, you know, really quickly or something. So grab those and stick those on right there and right there. Okay, so we should be able to disconnect now and be fine. If we need more thrust, we could potentially add them over here. But let's see. Let's go around the back over here and disconnect this right here. Boom, boom, and disconnect all this stuff right here as well. Okay, so it is flying. That's a good sign. Let's maybe bring it up a little bit. So I could always access the, let me make sure my O is on. There we go. If I press Shift K, I can go into our small grid right here and go up a little bit. Okay, I bumped into the ceiling there, but it's fine. With that, I'll be able to access the bottom here and build in some stuff. So this, I'd like to continue this way, kind of mirroring what we have on the front there. All right, weld all of that up, and then I'd like to do the same thing on this side over here. So bring this all the way back right there. Okay, and that is looking pretty good. Yeah, all right, I like that. So what I'm gonna do before we do anything, I'm gonna, let's Shift K this, small grid, press K, info. Instead of small grid, we're gonna call this Transport 2 Mark 1. And we're gonna name this like we name every other ship, but for now it's Transport 2 Mark 1, and the reason I do that is so that I can go over here and Control B, blueprint it, and then, you know, if the worst were to happen, we still have it. Transport 2 Mark 1. All right, the next step is gonna be bringing it to that base, I think. So we're gonna start over there. Let's Shift K again. Let's get into control of Transport 2 Mark 1, and let's see if we can get out of here. We might be able to make it out of here without going sideways, but it'll be really close. Go down a little bit. Yeah, we might have to go sideways. Well, how far off are we? It's not bad. I guess we can just go sideways though. All right, let's bring it sideways. Make this a little easier for us. This is weird because the controls are all weird when you use stuff like this. Because I'm not using a camera or anything. Okay, let's press this to go this way. And we should be good now. All right, I think we're completely out. Mostly, yes, perfect. All right, I'm gonna hop on here. We'll go ahead and Shift K this. Control. And let's get out of here. All right, now I do have cameras on here. If I set them up, taking some damage. Why am I taking damage? Oh, because I'm standing on a thing. That makes sense. Yeah, so I do have cameras here that I can view. So if I press number 1, this is, well, okay, I'm in the way, but this is my top-mounted camera in the front. So with this, I can fly on over to the base over here, and we're gonna land at our nice little landing pad right there, allow this thing to get some power. Actually, I want to check on this base as well because we've had the PAM bases or the PAM ships going back and forth for a long time. Pretty much every time I'm over there working on this ship, I see the Sean Wolf or the David Charlie going back and forth. So it's kind of crazy. Let's go back into first person here. I'll tell you what I don't have is a camera like down here. Oops. A camera down here to help me land, which would be very helpful. Yeah, I don't have the computers for that, but that would be very nice. For now, I think I'm just gonna have to do this. Shift K from here, and then move it in. I can use the camera to get down, like, close to it. But once I get close, it might be easier just to use this dude with the third vantage point. Okay, let's bring it forward. And there we go. There's our connection. So I'm going to go ahead and press G, grab our connector, throw this down here as well. And boom, there we go. We're now connected. All right, nice successful first mission. We were able to get to the base, and our batteries should now be recharging. Yeah, actually the batteries on here are looking great. How are you looking? Yeah, fully recharged in 1 second, so perfect. So those should be recharging then as well. I'm curious what materials we have in here now. Let's hop over here and check. Okay, we have a lot of platinum. We've been getting some gold and we've been getting some silver. So all materials are actually producing now. We're getting the stuff for all of them. It looks like we're not getting a crazy amount of ice, which is good. We're sticking at around 100 or 1000K there, which is exactly what I want to see. I guess let's go check out the yeah, all the ships are out. They're all doing work. So let's go check out the this one first, which is the Emil Skov. Let's see how this one has been doing. The ship should be kind of in... Well, where's the ship? Oh, it's all the way down there. Okay. I was a little concerned for a second because I didn't see it. But no, it is getting all the way down here. Let's turn on our light. That's the platinum, so it's going through the platinum. It's going a little farther than I want it to, but I think I'm fine with that. Because it looks like the platinum's just a small vein. But yeah, I'm definitely okay with that. Let's go check out the gold and silver as well. Here is our gold and silver area. This should be the silver. Let's see how you're doing. Yeah, so it's got to go really low to get this silver. And in fact, it's only getting a little bit of the silver before it goes on to the next hole. So maybe I would want you to go a little deeper. And in fact, there's not even silver here, is there? Yeah, I'm noticing there's not silver there. Where's the silver? Silver's here. Okay, so we're going to give you a different mission then, David Charlie. Good sir. All right, we'll set up a mining job, and for this one, I don't want the width to be too big. I think I'm going to bump down the width a little bit. I'm going to bump down the height a little bit, and I'm going to bump up the depth about another 5, maybe another 10 meters. So let's try this one here. Let's see if it can handle that one. So he's actually going to get a little closer to the gold, which worries me, but it should be fine. Speaking of gold, how are we doing there? Yeah, it is going a little further than the gold as well, but it's fine. I mean, it's getting there, right? There's gold here, I think. Yeah, the gold vein continues this way. So yeah, it is actually getting the gold, so that's good. So I think our PAM ships are working just fine. Even though they're going slowly, all of these are kind of precious materials, which unfortunately come out of the ground very slowly. You don't get a lot for the area you mine. But it's fine, because we're getting a little bit, which is good. In fact, how does the, what does the Sham Wolf have on it right now? Does it have stuff? Yeah, it's got, well, okay, it's got only a little bit of gold, but I'm fine with that. So while this ship is still charging here, let's do the naming of it. So I'm going to do the same thing I do for the naming of the PAM ships and the same thing I did for the Jerfosomaniac ship over there. I'm going to grab a random supporter name from the list of supporters. So give me a second and I'll come back with that. All right, everybody, let me introduce you to the Aaron transport ship based on the supporter on Patreon, Aaron. We now have our new transport ship, which is going to bring stuff from the spam base to the PAM base. But while I was naming the ship, I noticed a big problem, and you'll see the motion controller doesn't look very happy about it. We actually don't have any way for materials to get onto the ship because we have a sorter that's pushing materials off the ship, but we don't have anything pulling materials onto the ship, which is a big problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change how things are done a little bit. And I already broke out this block just to show that a little bit here. But essentially we have these connections all the way on the top. So we don't even need these little frames here. They're just kind of redundancy. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make a, I think I'm going to put a sorter right here. I'm going to find a way to make a little connection in here. So this right there is going to go down into there. This right here is going to become... There we go, double connections right there. And then right here, we're gonna throw, don't mind the sound, we're gonna throw a sorter going in. So, boom, there we go, a sorter going in. So let's grab the materials for all of these things and we'll build them up as we can. All right, there's the sorter and there should be the other thing right there, perfect. And here is the camera. So what we're gonna do is, for these sorters, we've got the small conveyor sorter, which is going to be our in for all these ores. So boom, ores go in. We like ores going in. It's not going to pull all, it's just going to be a way for ores to get in. For the conveyor sorter, we're going to do ores go out. And let's whitelist those, not blacklist, please. All right, perfect. We now have transport to sorter or in and transport to sorter or out. Okay, so with those named there, I think now we're good to set up our thing, because now we know that we can actually get ores into the ship, which before was impossible. Okay, and actually it's good that we have this as well, because remember what we decided was we're not going to have a sorter on here to push things into here. It's going to rely on the ship to do it itself. So what I'll go ahead and do is tell our ore in to drain all, and that should start pulling things into here. Yep, there we go. It is draining all. It's grabbing all the stuff. Perfect. And now we have a bit of a gap in there, but I'm just going to close it up with one of these. And if we ever need to add more stuff, we just need to remember that that's there. Let's see if we can make the transport or the emotion controller happy again. Well, neutral's probably about the best we can do. Let's get this path set. So I think in order to get the Aaron transport ship set up with the path, we're going to set a little control seat right there. And then we're going to go to our recorders. And the way we're going to do this, instead of doing it the way we did before, which was essentially we actually recorded a path, I think for our takeoff, we're going to manually set waypoints, which I think you can do. Yeah, you can add waypoint. We're going to set up takeoff and landing at the same time. So for landing, we're going to add a waypoint right here, because this is going to be the ending waypoint that we're going to do when we land. And we might have to reverse this once we do this, but let's go ahead and take off here. I'm going to go out like here-ish. And we're going to set up another waypoint right here for landing and for takeoff. So for landing, we'll add that waypoint right there. And for takeoff, we'll add that waypoint right here. Perfect. Okay, let's head out this way a little bit, maybe to about, and we might need more upward facing thrusters, so I might tweak this a little bit, but let's go here. We'll add a waypoint for that. And then I'm gonna be very, very specific and very particular about the path that I want this to take, because essentially I want it to go like here. I don't want it to get too close to the base, because we might have stuff at the base that's going to be doing stuff. So let's bring it to about right there maybe, and we'll call that a waypoint. Okay, so waypoint on our landing and waypoint on our takeoff. And I think that's all we're gonna do for this one. So all we have to do for our landing now is we take that same thing that we just did and we're just gonna reverse the order like that. And I will show path on HUD and I'll show on HUD here. And let's see if I can actually see the path that we just set up. It's always a little bit weird to try and see this. Maybe I can use spectate a little bit easier. Okay, yeah, it's showing them perfect. I'm using spectator camera to make this a little easier, but yeah, waypoint 1 right there, waypoint 2 right there, waypoint 3 right there, and waypoint 4 right there. Perfect. And then the way it's going to take off is that way, and the way it's going to land is that way, because we reversed it for landing. All right, that's exactly what we want. Perfect. Now let's fly a little bit closer to the other base, and we'll start setting up the other ones. Yeah, I think it definitely needs more forward and backward thrust. Well, it's an automated ship, so maybe not. I don't know. Should be fine. All right, I think we're gonna start it. We're gonna start programming its approach all the way out here, because we really want to make sure that we don't run into the other ships that exist already over here. So how do we want to do this? We're pretty high. You know what? Actually, we're way higher than any of the PAM ships. So maybe what we want to do, well, let me leave that flying there for a second. I think we might want to land it on the other side of the base, which is a little wacky. But the reason I say that is because this is where our container is. So landing it over here wouldn't be the worst option. We could potentially land it on top of everything if I remove these. All right, hear me out. Conveyor sorter right there, connector right here, and this is where we land the ship. So the ship lands right up there, and then down here, we'll have all the connection to this, maybe. So we'll turn this into a three-way one coming out this way, bring that into there, and then we just need to get this and this built up right here. All right, there's our sorter, and we just need this stuff for the connector. And in fact, while we work on that, maybe I'll just add something like this. Take that same color. All right, there we go, our new landing pad for this ship, which is still kind of sitting out there. The Terfosomaniac, I think, comes in right over here and then lands, so we're gonna bring this one around the back. And the PAM ships only go ever about this high, so as long as we bring this, you know, kind of high up, it should be fine. The air and transport, let's get you set up with your landing and your takeoff stuff here. So base B land is going to get a waypoint, and base B takeoff is also going to get a waypoint. So I named it base A and base B for all my stuff. So base A is whatever base A you want, and base B is whatever base B you want. In this case, A is spam and B is PAM. Okay, so they both have their waypoint. Let's keep the same height and kind of bring them around we're pretty much going to go directly over the base. Which, as long as I know kind of that we're up this high for this ship, and then don't bring any of the other ships this high, it should be good. This complicated stuff is why actual airlines have flight paths and stuff and vectors. We do not. Well, I guess we're setting up our vectors, but we're not setting them up in a smart way, are we? We're kind of setting them up in a very, you know, first come, first serve way, and then kind of working around that. But anyway, now that we're right here, we can start coming in, knowing that no ship really crosses in front over here. It's getting nighttime. That's going to make it a little harder to work here. But we know that no PAM ship comes over here, so we're going to give this a waypoint for both of our recorders. I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to do a waypoint like right next to it, and then do another waypoint where it's actually in the connection here. So we'll do one more waypoint here and connect. Okay, so for our recorders, all we have to do is our takeoff one just needs to be this reverse. So we'll go ahead and reverse the order of those, and that should be good. Okay, so we should have all of our waypoints working. So this ship basically goes like this. It goes out that way and then around at a very high altitude and back over to there. And it'll do the same thing when it's trying to land. So all we need to do now is set up our timers, which is going to be the fun part. Signal transmitter done, timer's done, recorder done. Now we need to test it, but I'd love it to be daytime when we do that. So let's go in here, let's go to sleep and let the day come. Good night, everybody. I will see you all in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's time to test out our new transport ship. Let's give it a go. I want to see if it's going to work or if it's going to fail miserably. Could do a little bit of both. I'm going to give it a button, I think, kind of like the other ships have. So button. Okay, so this one right here tells it to go to take off from B, which we're at right now. And this one tells it to take off from A, where is over there. So right now at this base, to test this, let's go ahead and hit B takeoff and see if it does its thing. So it should go up and then go back a little bit if it's following the correct path. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, you know what? I haven't set up the AI stuff properly. It's gonna be doing weird, yeah, okay, hang on. I'm glad nothing else is flying right now, because otherwise, oh boy, it would be doing crazy stuff. Collision avoidance off, precision mode on. Speed limit, we're gonna set to maybe 30. Min altitude we'll set to 0. 5, I don't know. Pitch angle I'm gonna set to 0 because I don't want it pitching around everywhere. And roll angle I'm gonna set to 0. I want it to kind of, well, I'll give it like 5 to work with. Getting a little close to the ground, aren't we? Should be fine though. Okay, I should be fine with this. This should work. Okay, let's let it do its journey and see how it does. It got a little bit close to the ground over there, which worries me, but I think that might be my fault. Not sure. Anyway, there goes the Caffini base. We really need to visit the Caffini base again at some point, don't we? But let's let it continue on its mission and see if it makes it all the way to where we're trying to go. It's kind of in the path of where the Gervaso Maniac would go, isn't it? That slightly worries me. All right, we should now start our approach there. We have both ships. Oh, okay, for a second I thought both ships were taking off at the same time. That would have been wild. But yeah, we should be starting our approach here. Let's see how this does. Oh, maybe because I did the waypoints facing this way, it's actually gonna come in backwards. I think I'm fine with that. There's not really a front or a back to this ship, is there? It's just got cameras on both sides. It's got the same number of thrusters, so it's probably fine. Oh, beautiful view of that in the sun. Look at that. That's cool. Screenshot. All right, here it comes. Don't go too fast, Mr. Ship. All right, there it is. And we should have a connection. There it is. All right, so if I look at the sorters right now, if I were to go over here and see the sorters right here, I should notice that they're both turned off. But in about 30 seconds, once that minimum timer goes off, the sorter should turn on. So this should start loading with materials. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on this over here. And any second now, it should start loading stuff. So let's give it a second, and we'll see if it loads stuff onto the ship. Or wait, no, it already has, hasn't it? You know, I realized I haven't actually set up my event controllers over here. All right, I think now everything's set up. We had to set up a couple of the event controllers and get some of this stuff set up a little bit better because it was not working. But now this guy turns sleepy every time he's connected, and whenever he disconnects, he should turn awake. So I'm gonna go ahead and run my base A takeoff trigger. There we go. And we'll see if he makes it all the way back to the other base. So it shouldn't be going that way. That is slightly concerning. Let me just go in here real quick and turn on AI flight move, turn off AI behavior real quick. Okay, I don't know why he did that. Let me look at what recorder's on. Yeah, so it immediately turned on base B land recorder. Ah, there's the problem. We put the timer on the waypoint 1. We want it to be on waypoint 3. That's my bad. And this should set up A to B. So yeah, waypoint 3 should do that. That's why B flew way close to the base and stuff, because it went immediately to A. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna run this back to the base over here. Actually, you know what? While we're down here, I think I'm gonna add a couple more thrusters to it. We're gonna give it a little overhaul. All right, I've added a couple of thrusters and a couple of niceties as well. A little bit of paint, a little bit of, you know, stuff here and there. There's some signs over here. There's some like nice little opening things here that you can open and stuff. And I blueprinted it as well with making it the Aaron Transport Ship Mark II. And yeah, I think we're good to test this again. Everything should be resolved now. I removed the top part as well. So we're going to have to use the, oh, we're almost out of oxygen. Real quick, before we do that, let me run over here to my oxygen container. Ox refill, throw this in there, and we should be good to go again. All right, so I'm gonna set up here, and we're going to bring it right back to the other base that we were just at. It's okay. So it should perform a lot better now. And actually, yeah, I'm noticing it's picking up speed a lot faster, which is good. All right, we're gonna come in for a landing here, and we'll let it set out again to see if it makes all the waypoints. There it is. All right, press number 8 to lock that, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna press the button again to let this do its own thing. So let's do base A takeoff, hit that, and this should take us to exactly where we wanna go. So we're gonna follow this, make sure it does its proper course this time. So it should go out to the right there, and then over. So let's see. Let's see how it does. I like the paint job on this. The yellow, I really like a yellow, you know, a yellow, gray, and white sort of look. I think it looks good. So it isn't precision mode, so it's gonna take its time with each of these waypoints. And I do precision mode because if I don't, it's just gonna kind of loosely like blaze by the waypoints, and I don't really want that to happen. So we're gonna do precision mode. Maybe I'll give it a faster speed. Yeah, we are going quite slow. Why are we going so slow? What's with that? What's the AI flight move trying to do? AI behavior, speed limit 30 meters per second. Boom, let's bump that up to 50. Give you some speed. Collision avoidance is off, precision mode. Oh, okay, here we go. So it took a long time to get to that waypoint, but once it gets there, it looks like it's actually going up to speed here. And this is fine, because it should be heading toward our next waypoint here. Here we go. This is looking pretty good so far. So it should stop like right up here and then go around to the other side of the base and then come down. That's what we're looking for here. And it looks like it's starting to slow down because it knows it's getting to its waypoint any second now. I don't know why it's having so much trouble with these waypoints. Maybe what it's trying to do is go to, what if I give AI flight move a little bit more of a pitch angle? What if I give it 10? Well, I mean, it is heading over in that direction. It's just taking a very slow route at it. I suppose what I could do is on my landing procedures, I could turn precision on when it gets to a certain waypoint, like this one. And same with avoid collisions. All right, it's getting there. It's a little slow, but it does seem to be getting there. Okay, this final step, it's zooming, it's going. Okay, and there we go. We should have connection right there. Perfect, and it should start depositing stuff. Not yet, I don't think. So if I look at my sorters, yeah, they're both turned off, but they should turn on. Yeah, this one has just now turned on, so it should be depositing stuff into here. Or maybe it's depositing directly into here. Yep, okay, it deposited all of its stuff. I'm noticing it didn't actually take off. All right, I had my event controllers swapped around, but now they should be good. So let's go ahead and tell it to manually take off again. Base B takeoff. This is base B. I turned off the engines. They're so loud. Okay, I see why. I need to not be turning off the recorders. I need to be just turning on and off the play. All right, now it should work a little bit better because they're all on. So there we go. Activate. Let it. Okay, it's actually flying now. That's what I like to see. Yeah, this is good. I like that it's going so fast. I don't know why it was going so slowly for the other ones. Yeah, now it's zooming. What the heck? It's getting its max speed. Maybe it's because of the precision stuff that I did, because it turns off precision at some point, and so then it starts zooming around. But then once precision's on, it might, I don't know, do stuff weirdly. Yeah, see here, it's kind of starting to like go really slowly. You know, I feel like we weren't this high when we did the recording, right? Like it's definitely freaking out, not knowing where this next waypoint is. It's just going up. Why? All right, I'm taking over. I don't know what's going on, but it's for some reason it's trying to fly to outer space. So we're gonna have to tweak this. Maybe we'll have to actually record a path. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out what's going on with that for sure before I let it go on its own. Right now I'm gonna land it at the base over there. We'll look at it again a little bit later. But right now what we want to do is I think we want to go in and change up the Re-Caffinator so that it no longer has the subgrids. I think that'd be a good idea. Just in case a Reaver attacks us, we don't have to worry about the subgrids of that thing. We can just kind of take off and go do what we need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and land this over here at this base for now. And yeah, once I figure out how to actually get the AI path showing, because for some reason it's not showing. Every time I click show on HUD, it doesn't show, so. All right, now I am following it. Look, this is like a nice third-person view while controlling, which is very cool. And the reason I have that is because I'm actually following it with my jetpack. But there we go. I think that's the lock. Let's go ahead and switch that. Perfect. We're gonna let this do its thing. Okay. Let's go mess with the Re-Caffinator. We'll come back to this. We'll fix this. Maybe I'll do it off camera, or maybe we'll do it at the end of this episode. But let's go mess with the Re-Caffinator. All right, here we are inside our lovely garage, and we've got the. Oh, we still have this random battery on here. Actually, let me set this to discharge. Boop. Discharge. There we go. Yeah, I'd like to get rid of that power before we delete it. But we've got the Re-Caffinator Mark 1 in here, and we're about to turn it into a Mark 2 without the subgrids. That's essentially all we want to do to this thing. Maybe I'll change these lights out for some different headlights. I don't know. You know, maybe we'll do some things to make it look like a Mark II. But yeah, the main thing is we're just removing these subgrids here in favor of permanent fixtures that are going to be very, like, more similar to the decaffeinator. So let's go ahead and start removing some of this stuff here. Oh, our inventory is going to get full very quickly. So we're going to have to put all of our stuff away before we remove any more. A floating plate right here. Okay. Might have a lot of floating stuff at some point. I liked it. I thought it was a cool idea. The only problem is subgrids are just, they're not all that stable. So it was a cool idea that's going to go down in history, not permanently. All right, let's put this in there. It's like, have you guys ever looked up like experimental World War II planes? They're weird. They're crazy. In fact, if you play War Thunder, which this video is not sponsored by, you'll be able to play as some of them. I think you might have to pay real money to get access to them, but yeah, it's kind of wacky. They've got all these like crazy designs. I don't know what the headspace was back in World War II when they were thinking like, hey, what planes are we gonna need? But they were just coming up with any design possible. You guys know the Lightning? Is it the Lightning? Is that the one that's got the two cockpits? I don't know. They had weird designs. But anyway, consider this our wacky. Oh no! Oh, it's okay. We already ruined the power cells. It's fine. Consider this our wacky World War II plane design. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Oh my gosh, we have a projection of the decaffeinator right here. Okay, well we can actually use this to figure out how we want to do this. The only problem with the non-foldable design was, of course, that it takes up a lot of space, which is annoying, but we can work with it because it didn't take up that much space. Like, it could at least go out here. So where did we start on this? It was about middle of the ship is where we started, like middle bottom and then middle top for that one. Okay, so middle bottom here. All right, so it kind of looked like that. I think that's exactly what it looked like, actually. So a very similar design. And in fact, I wonder if we go up higher, we could potentially go lower and higher. I think when we were originally designing the Re-Caffinator here, we did try out a thick design like this, where it essentially had room for two decoys. So we had a decoy right there and a decoy right here with the thick design. And I think I kind of want to try that. So we'll give it a go. Let's put this in right there, and then we have room for 2 decoys like that. And it's kind of a thicker design to the for the Re-Caffinator. And we could, of course, go out further. Maybe 1 block further would be interesting. I don't know. Definitely make us lose a little bit of room. We'd probably have to find even another parking spot for the Re-Caffinator if we went out too. But, I mean, with a thicker design, it might look better. Do I like this? I don't know. It's a thicker design, but I've only gone with 1 decoy with this design right here. Thicker design means it probably won't get shot off more, but do I care if it gets shot off? Maybe I'm fine with a thinner design. I'm just kind of exploring options here. But I think I might be fine with the thin iteration of this. All right, something like that. Very, very similar to the decaffeinator, that one. In fact, that might be the same exact design there. Maybe a little bit longer, or maybe the same. Nope, I think that's actually the same size as the original decaffeinator. But I'm okay with it because I'm gonna go ahead and throw a decoy, and that's gonna be that. This is gonna be our new caffeinator variation. Okay, throw our little decoy in right there, and there's gonna be our other one on the other side. Okay, so with that right there, there's 2 of our sides. It's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and duplicate that on this side. So this right here, and that became normal blocks. And I think this also became a normal block. It's gonna be nice not having to worry about the subgrids. Because they're a bit of a pain. They look nice. Subgrids are always nice, but they just they cause problems sometimes. Okay, so this we're gonna turn back into one of these, I think. And then we'll start going down right here. And we went down, down, down to the burning ring of subgrids. There we go. Bring that around. Bring it down like this and that. And then bring it right back up right there. We'll put our decoy right in as well. And there we go. That should be all of the arms. So now what I need to do is get these welded up and then get the little plates on it, because we're putting some sort of like a heavy armor plate on the front of it, so that just in case it got shot, it has to go through those armor plates before it can take out those things. And I don't think we need to put them on the back. I think before we were putting them on the front and the back, but for now, I'm just gonna put the heavy plates, which are these guys right here, heavy armor panels. I'm gonna throw them right there. So we'll have plate, and I'll do double like that. This is what I was doing before as well. Just on the front, so that any bullets will have to get through those first. So I'll go ahead and right click on one of them. And we have 8 of them to get, so I'll just do a control middle mouse button to grab the stuff for 10. Go. There we go. There we go. And last ones right here. And there we go. There's our Re-Caffinator Mark II. Actually, let's do a couple of, you know what? Yeah, let me run through and do a couple more tweaks to the Re-Caffinator to make it more of a Mark II. I'll change out some lights, maybe add a couple things, maybe change some colors around, and I'll be right back with the makeover of the Re-Caffinator Mark II. All right, everybody, I give you the Re-Caffinator Mark II. It's got a little bit of color changes, a lot more lights on the front, and well, those red lights as well. Let me open the door and I'll show you what the Re-Caffinator 2 has to offer. Same ship, it's got all the same stuff, it just doesn't have the subgrids, and it also has the same weapons. So no weapon changes, just kind of aesthetic changes and subgrid removal changes. So let's go out here with this guy and I'll show you what we've got. So first of all, we've got lights. So if I press number 3, boom, a lot of headlights in the front. We've got headlights and we've got normal lights. So the headlights will push light far, and the normal lights will push light out. So we'll be able to see around us and stuff. And then we've got these red lights as well. So imagine you're just like, you know, minding your own business. Let's say that the ship is like, you know, all the way back out here, out in the dark. Imagine you're just minding your own business and suddenly you see out in the horizon this. Oh, look at that. Look how scary that looks out there. That's a mean ship coming in. We added some lights that go around in circles. That's pretty much what it is. And you know what they really say? They really say, hey, shoot me here. Shoot me right here. And these totally not decoys. That's what those are right there. So yeah, we can turn those on with the number 4. We can turn them on with the lights if we want to. Then we look like a real mean, scary ship coming in. But yeah, this is the Re-Caffinator Mark II. No subgrids. It can move a lot easier, and it's ready for combat. Still the same guns though. But anyway, yeah, that's the ship design. Let's go ahead and put this back, and we just need to remember to be extra careful coming in with this thing because it's a lot wider than it was before without the subgrids, keeping it slim. So let's go in here without bumping into all of the stuff, please. And we can go ahead and land right there. Press number 8, and we are landed. I think I'll turn off the lights for now. So turn that off and turn that off. There we go. So we're not blinded. And just for good measure, let's go ahead and hit the weld button in case there's anything that needs weld. Doesn't look like there is. All right, with the Re-Caffinator Mark II up and running, and with our ship over there, you know, mostly up and running, I think this is probably a good place to end the episode. This guy right here needs some major work in terms of tweaking. Right now, it's fine. You know, it can do its job. Sort of. What's that? Parallax shadow? Okay, I just heard it spawn in. It can sort of do its job. The only problem is that it sometimes likes to go up and just keep going up, and I don't know what's causing that. So I'll have to go off camera and mess around with it a little bit. Probably try and maybe tweak the waypoints or something. I don't know exactly, but anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode. So if you guys liked it, you know, ship building and ship editing episode, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Put your comments and your suggestions for what you want to see for next episodes down below in the comments section. And with that, I will see you all in the next episode of Space Engineers Survival.